Dr. Donna Harrison is a board-certified OBGYN with 3 decades of experience. She is also CEO Emerita of the current director of research for the American Association of Pro-Life Obstetricians and Gynecologists at the American Association of Pro-Life OBGYNs. Dr. Harrison, welcome back to Washington Watch. It's an honor to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Okay, this is such a critical moment potentially right now, and you have authored peer-reviewed papers on maternal mortality and mifepristone mortality and so forth. Does your own professional experience line up with what you probably just heard our interview with the EPPC, what they found in their study?
Yes, it does. And not just mine, but APLOG docs across the country are seeing similar kinds of things in the ER, seeing women with hemorrhages, women with tissue left inside, women who have ectopic pregnancies that never should have gotten the abortion pill at all. And they got it because they never had an inpatient visit. They never had an ultrasound. And what really bothers the American Association of Pro-Life OB-GYNs is that this kind of sloppy distribution of mifeprex hurts women and not only kills their baby, but it also hurts the women. And there is no way that you can actually give informed consent to a woman if you don't know how far along she is in a pregnancy. And there's no way you can tell how far along she is in a pregnancy by looking at a laptop screen. It doesn't happen. So we know that women who come into our office, about half the time we change the due date based on an early ultrasound. So there is no way that these women are being told what their risks are, because as the pregnancy gets further and further along, the woman's risk of hemorrhage, infection, sepsis, tissue left inside, all of those risks increase. And she's not even being told whether or not she has a baby in the womb or in the tube. And a baby in the tube is an absolute contraindication to giving mifeprex. So I'm so glad to see this study come out and finally some real world data looking at how women are being affected by this. And the abortion industry doesn't care.
Yeah, that's what's so stunning to me. It's like they do not care about the health of women with all of this. The study, the EPPC study, mentions that the current FDA-approved drug label is based on the results of 10 clinical trials with a little over 30,000 or so women, but less than 0.5% reported severe adverse reactions, and yet the truth is much worse than that, is nowhere close to 0.5%.
No.
So how do you explain this? How do we get it so wrong?
So there's a couple things going on. One, clinical trials are done under very controlled circumstances. All of the women in those trials had an ultrasound before they got into the trial to make sure that they were eligible for the trial and to make sure the baby was in the womb. And if they had an ectopic pregnancy, they were excluded. And if they were too far along, they were excluded. So these trials sort out healthy women where they're gestational age, the dating of the pregnancy is perfectly known. And then they're followed very, very, very carefully. Okay. So that's not what happens in the real world. In the real world, Sally Smith, who may be 14, gets online, gives her gift credit card, and gets mailed mifeprex. She has no idea how far along she is. She may think that she's 8 weeks. And I've seen cases where women were told, oh, you're 8 weeks along, and they take the mifeprex and they deliver a 22-week baby who could have survived if that baby had been delivered under the right circumstances. It's this kind of horrendous care. And that's not the only thing going on. Women who have a blood type that's negative, like O negative or B negative or A negative, they're supposed to get a medicine called Rogam. And that's to prevent their body from rejecting the next baby that comes along. And that's supposed to happen whether they have a miscarriage, an abortion, or a delivery. When that doesn't happen and they don't get Rogam, they have a very high chance of that next baby dying, even if it's a wanted baby, dying in their womb because their body rejects it. So these women are not getting Rogam, they're not getting ultrasound, they're not getting informed consent. It's horrendous. And then Who is taking care of the women who have a difficult time accessing care? These drugs are mailed to women who may not have access to an emergency room. So if you hemorrhage and you lose, half your blood volume, and you're right down the road from an ER that has blood, you'll survive. If you're in Timbuktu, you won't. You'll die. And
Wow.
this is the thing. There's no concern about the healthcare needs of women who are getting these drugs. It's just abysmal. So that's why I agree with EPPC stating that at the very minimum, the safety requirements that were thrown away by the Obama and Biden administrations, those safety requirements should be reinstated. And they should add more
So,
if they don't pull the drug altogether.
so this is such a dangerous drug. Why in the world has the FDA allowed it to be on the market for so long?
Well, I would suggest that you read the AHM versus FDA filing that you can find on the ADF website, where we detail all of the irregularities in the approval process. It was a political approval from day one. Clinton ordered the approval to happen. There were safety steps that were missed. It was approved under a clause called Subpart H, which is for the treatment of life-threatening infections or life-threatening diseases. So they had to call pregnancy a life-threatening disease. I mean, it's ridiculous. Pregnancy is a physiological normal function. Normal women become pregnant and they deliver healthy babies. That's the goal. Pregnancy is not a life-threatening disease, and it never should have been fast-tracked. It was fast-tracked. There's a bunch of things that were wrong with the initial approval. But even at the minimum, we should go back to those safety requirements under the initial approval. You know what was really bad? When the Obama administration relaxed the requirements, they allowed for women to get this drug and not be monitored by a physician. They also, at the same time, told the abortionists, you don't have to report any complications anymore. You only have to report deaths. Isn't that crazy? You
Wow.
change all these safety requirements, you relax them, and then you say, we don't want to know about any complications that happen because of our change in the safety requirements. It's just, it's horrendous.
It is horrendous. And may this be a moment in our nation's history on this issue, not just for those who are pro-life. This certainly, for those of us who are pro-life, we are pushing for this for multiple reasons. But just those who are concerned for health of the mother and the dangers that are associated with drugs like this. This is a moment in history to turn the corner. All right, Dr. Donna Harrison, thank you so much for this incredible time that you've spent with us, and thanks for the tremendous work that you do at the American Association of Pro-Life Obstetricians and Gynecologists. God bless you. Thank you for joining us today on Washington Watch.
Thank you for having me.